Hello students and welcome to my Test 3 study guide review. Please read the directions to your study guide and remember it's very important to do an honest job of studying on your own. I'd like to go through a few problems here related to the study guide. Alright, question number 1. Find the midpoint between these 2 points. Now remember the midpoint formula, okay? It's the sum of the x's, the average of the x's, and then the average of the y's, okay? That's midpoint. That's all midpoint is. So let's see, negative 3, that's going to be a 1 over 2, and 11 minus 7 is 4, so 4 over 2, that's going to be 2. So the midpoint of those 2 points is that ordered pair right there. Question number 2. Find the equation of the line that goes through the points such and such. Okay, now remember what the question's asking. Find the equation of a line. So, a line looks like this. Y equals mx plus b. Okay, they want the equation. And it goes through these 2 points first. So obviously we have to find the slope first. Okay? The way I find the slope is I take the y that's most positive and I go this way. 9 minus a negative 7. Then I take the x the same way. Okay? It's very important. 5 minus 3. Okay, so we know this is 16 over 2, which is 8. So now I know the slope is 8. Y is equal to 8x plus b. Now we need to find the equation. So I need y equals mx plus b, and I have to include the b too. Now remember, an ordered pair, 5, 9 is on the line. So this is x and this is y. I'm going to plug in the values. 9 is equal to 8 times 5 plus b. Well, we know this is just 40 plus b. And if we subtract it in the south for b, b is equal to what? 9 minus 40, which is a negative 31. All right, now put it all together. Y equals my slope, and then my y-intercept. Okay, so this is the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. All right, let's look at another problem here. Find the equation of the horizontal line that passes through 10, negative 4. That's a very interesting question. So here's my coordinate plane. Of course, here's my x and here's my y, right? So where is 10, negative 4 at? 10, negative 4 is right over here. Now the question said, find the horizontal line. So a horizontal line is going to go this way. Okay. Again, here's my point again here, okay? Well, remember from the lesson, the horizontal line on the coordinate plane is a y-equal line. Now, the line is going to go through this ordered pair, and remember the y is negative 4. So the equation of the line is just y equals negative 4. Okay? Now, this may be an area where maybe you try to read into the problem more than is there, but that's a very straightforward understanding of how to do that problem. All right, question number 4. Find the value of y that satisfies the following system of equations. Now, let's be real careful how we copy the equations, okay? So here's the first one, and then I've got this other equation here. Here's the other equation. Now, the question is we want to find the value of y. That's one thing that we want to find. And also, it appears it's easier to solve this system through elimination. So since I'm solving for y, let's try to get rid of the x's. What is a number that 5 and 3 both go into? 15. So in order to eliminate it, I'm going to have to multiply this top one by a negative 3. When I do that, I have negative 15x plus 9y is equal to negative 12. Now remember, my goal is to get rid of the x, so I need a plus 15x here at the bottom. And that tells me to multiply, or the only way I could do that is to multiply the second equation by a positive 5. And when I do that, I get 15x minus 25y is equal to negative 50. Okay, so let's add the sides together. Of course, my x's go away, and 25 minus 9, okay, I believe that's 16, negative 16y is equal to, and of course this is negative 12 and negative 50, that's a minus 62. Okay, make sure I got that right. Okay, and of course we want to solve for y, so y is equal to negative 62 over negative 16. If I divide the top by 2, I get 31. If I divide the bottom by 2, I get 8. And remember, negative over negative is a positive. So that would be the y value there, okay? Now, if you had more time, I'd find the x value, then check them both into both equations and see if that works. All right, next question. Find the distance. Find the distance between these 2 points, okay? So here's my distance formula. Now remember, the distance formula is just you subtract the x's and you subtract the y's, okay? So really that is the only major formula besides the midpoint formula, that you need to know right now. And of course, if you work the problems, you should basically know the formula, okay? And I don't think it's wise to have a card where you put your formulas on there, okay? So do try to know the distance formula, the midpoint formula, and the other things that will help you. All right, so this is how I do this. To find the distance, I'm going to copy my square root, and I'm going to subtract the x's. All right, what is 12 minus a negative 2? 12 minus a negative 2. I'm just going to copy that in there. Plus, and then I have a negative 5 minus 11. Now, since we're squaring, you could not have to do it by that order, but just to not confuse some people, we'll just write that in there like this. Okay, so this is going to be 14 squared plus, that's going to be a negative 16 squared, correct? Okay. All right, so this is going to be 196 plus, I believe 16 squared is 256. Okay, now we're going to add those two guys together. 196, 256, okay. Well, if I added 4 here, that would be 200, that would be 456. So 452 would be the correct answer. Now remember, it's the square root of that. Square root of 452. Okay. And of course, we want to reduce that and see if that reduces. So let's see, 4 goes into that 1, 1, 3. So that would be 2 radical 1, 1, 3. Final answer. All right, question 5. All right, question 6. In this particular question, we're being asked to find f of negative 2. So f of negative 2. Remember, we have 2 times something cubed minus 5 times something squared plus 3 times something minus 1, right? Okay, and what is that number inside? That's negative 2, okay? Negative 2. I should have put a negative 2 in here, okay? Or left it blank. So what are we looking for? We're looking at 2 times, what is that? That's negative 8 minus 5 times what? Which is 4. And plus 3 times negative 2, which is a negative 6 minus 1. negative 16 minus 20 minus 6 minus 1. So they're all negatives, right? So this is negative 36, and that's going to give us negative 42, and we add one more, negative 43. Negative 43 is our answer. Okay, now here number 7 is a question about a circle, and of course this is standard form of a equation of a circle. So notice for a circle, the center is h comma k, and r is the radius. Well, in this case, we have x minus 3, so h has to be 3. In this case, we have y plus 9. The only way to get y plus 9 is for us to have y minus a negative 9. So that tells us that k has to be negative 9. There's different ways of doing that, right? Okay, now since r squared is going to be 15, r is going to be the square root of 15. Okay, so that is a straightforward question about a circle. This question says, describe the system of equations. Of course, here's one equation. I copied it down here, and here's another equation. Now, I want to ask you a question. If I times this by 2, I would end up getting 2x plus 6y is equal to 22. Now, my question is that the same equation as that equation? And the answer is yes. So that means that it's the same equation, which is infinite many solutions, okay? And which means that it's dependent, okay? And that also means that it is consistent. Consistent means at least one solution, okay? I did a video on that. I hope that would help you. Okay, here's a question about find the slope. Find the slope. Okay, and they give you the coordinates right here. Remember, slope is fun. It's rise over run. It's the change in the y over the change in the x. Now, this is the regular formula, standard formula people use. Again, try to remember how I told you how to do this. I start with the y that's most positive. So I do 2 minus the negative 3. Then once I go and I start at that point, I do the same thing with the x. Negative 7 minus negative 9. Now, we know that's 5, okay? Then at the bottom, it's going to be negative 7 plus 9. And we're going to rewrite that 5 over 2. Okay, that's the slope, or 2.5. Okay, question 10. Find the slope of the line that is perpendicular to the line 4x minus 3y is equal to 21. That tells us we need to solve this for y so we can find the slope. I would move the 4x to the other side. Negative 3y is equal to negative 4x plus 21. Then we divide by the negative 3, okay? Divide by negative 3. So y is equal to, that would be 4/3 x minus 7. Now remember, find the slope that is perpendicular to this line. This slope is 4 over 3. And according to my video, to find a perpendicular slope, you flip and you do the opposite sign. In this case, it was plus, so negative. That would be the slope of the line that's perpendicular to that line. Okay, as we finish up this video, what would be my best advice in getting ready for a test? Obviously, doing the lesson tasks. Okay, the content is important. And please don't shortchange yourself on that. Assignment problems. Do enough problems to where you understand the content. Of course, then you take your quizzes, and then you sort of go through the cycle, right? You go through the cycle again here, okay, until you work through that. Okay, try not to shortchange yourself or to take shortcuts. That will be very helpful if you would not do that. And then you want to review. Take some notes, you review your notes and that sort of thing. Okay, stay engaged. And don't forget, you got a study guide here. Okay, now the study guide can help you, but the study guide is not intended to replace real, bona fide, actual, helpful studying of the content. That way you enjoy the class, get something out of it, and are able to move on with your life. I wish you well. Email me if you need to. Thank you.